Happy Thursday. I hope you're well. Hold on, let me just figure this out. Hold on a second. Ooh. Okay. Trying to. As soon as I hit live, it zooms in and it just messes the whole thing. Okay. All right. So I hope you're well. Today I really wanted to come on and talk about affirmations because it's one of the most powerful little techniques that we can use, but people use them wrong all the time, and it was something that I used to really struggle with. So it's a very, very powerful technique, so I wanted to talk about this today. So before I do, just bear with me, I'm going to just share it in my group so I don't have to do it afterwards. 1 second. Hold on a second. Share to a group. So if you're not a part of my private group, by the way, it's where I've been doing most of my live streams and things in there. So it's the Awake Revolution Soul Team. So come and join us there if you want. Hold on. Okay. All right. So I think that's shared. All right. So affirmation. So before I start, just, don't switch off because you think that affirmations are kind of silly. Like I said in the title, I used to think they were stupid, fake, pointless, really irritating, and I used to kind of force myself, because I'd read it in a book, and everybody talks about affirmations, and I used to force myself to do it, and it used to just piss me off really badly. So I kind of just came off that for years, and it's only in the last, I'd say, year, maybe a bit longer, where I really started to get on board with them. But I sort of figured out a way of how to use them that felt real, right? Because a lot of the times we do affirmations, I'll explain what affirmations are in case you don't know in a minute, but a lot of the times affirmations are like positive statements, and it's like lying to yourself. It doesn't feel true, and that's why most people just give up on them. So I want to talk you through today like 7 steps really, to using them. What did I say? Hold on. Yeah, 7 steps to using affirmations to actually help change your entire trajectory, where you're going, because they're that powerful. And I don't say that lightly. So if I share things on here or out there, it's only because I'll only share the things that I vouch for and the things that I've personally really, really like dived in with, because I don't just take ideas and then, talk about them. Hold on a second. For some reason I can hear myself on the other device. Okay, so right, let me just get myself sorted. Someone's trying to ring me now. Hold on. Hold on. All right, okay, let me get sorted. All right, so let me just kind of take you through I like a plan. I'm a woman who likes a plan. So I'm going to take you through like a 7 sort of step process. So grab a notebook if you want to, or you can always watch the replay. I'm just going to sort of take you through 7 ways, because it's a really kind of, once you know how to do this, it's very, very powerful. It literally changes how you live. That's how much I believe in these. So step 1, first of all, is understand what affirmations are and why you're doing them, beyond my coach told me to do them, I read them in a book, everybody talks about them, you might have heard people, and even, we see quote boxes, don't we, and like affirm this, affirm that. So understand them. So really what they are, they're just statements of intent. They're also just statements of what we would say that are statements of truth. So it's almost like you're affirming what is true, what you believe to be true, and you're reminding yourself. So it could be like, I am a strong, confident, capable woman is an affirmation. And affirmations are usually, they begin with I am. I mean, you can do them in different variations, but let's just keep it really simple today and just start with the I am. So I am confident, I am successful, I am abundant, I am, in an amazing relationship, whatever it is. So they're statements of what is true for you. And that's what they are. So they're very simple, they're just statements. Now, why you're doing them is the bit that maybe people don't go into, because usually you're just told to do some affirmations, stick to a positive mindset, right? We hear this a lot, especially in the personal development world, and just stay positive. And if you keep affirming and staying positive every day, everything changes. Now, that is true, But where it goes wrong and where most people get stuck is they don't go a level deeper. They just try and affirm. And this is what I did years ago, where I was just saying to myself like positive things over and over. And then when they don't feel true, they really feel friggin' annoying. And then what you'll probably do is chuck your notebook in the bin, your journal in the bin, and just get back to reality, because it almost feels, for me anyway, it almost felt like a torture to tell myself these things that did not feel true, and I bloody well knew they weren't true. And then I berated myself and criticized myself for not holding that vision and staying positive. And then I thought, I'm crap at affirmations, they don't work. And then I was just kind of like on this loop. So they can be very triggering and very annoying. And then most people just use it as an excuse to beat themselves up. So I don't want you to do that. And I want you to just really understand what they are. And really what it is all it is the way you talk to yourself. You're affirming to yourself all day long, every single day, whether you're consciously aware of it or whether you're not aware of it. So you'll be telling yourself some messages of what you're capable of, what you're doing, how you're doing it. There's almost like a commentary running in the background, right? And if you've not done a lot of work on yourself, maybe you won't really know what that voice is saying. Some of you will know this more than others, right? So say hello if you're watching the replay, and do comment just so I know as well that you are watching the replay later. So it's like you're telling yourself these sort of statements. So what happens is the reason you believe certain things that are true simply is because you've told yourself over and over again, right? You've just accepted that as truth, that that's your reality, that's who you are, and that's it. So when we're using affirmations, what we're really doing is reprogramming what we believe, what we think, so that when we change how we think, it changes how we feel, it changes what we actually do with our behavior, it changes the actions, it changes how we show up in life, and everything else ripples out. It also shifts our energy and what we vibrationally attract. So it's a very, very powerful thing. So you're doing it anyway, so you may as well, because you're doing it anyway, you may as well get conscious about it and then actually deliberately affirm things that help you, right, that are more empowering, that move you to where you want to go. And this is the piece that it's where you're sort of going to deal with the sabotage. You know, whatever you're trying to do, it might be that you're trying to, usually we're trying to change something. We want to lose weight, we want to change our habits, we want to show up and do certain things, we want to create certain things in our lives. So we have to break habits. So we have to do the internal work just as much as, yes, we want to take the action, but this kind of affirming and the way you talk to yourself is one of the top most important things, and it's the difference that makes the difference. I wouldn't even be bothering to do a live stream on this if I didn't think it was that important. And especially now with all the craziness going on in the world, it's more important than ever that we get to grips with up here and we get control back with where we're focusing, what we're telling ourselves, what we're thinking, what we're believing. It is so important. So one of the ways we can do this is with affirmations. It's not the only way, but it's a way. There are lots of ways, but this is a really great way because it's something you can do. It doesn't cost you any money. You can practice. So that's why we're doing it, all right? So that's what it is and why we're doing it. So it's important to know why you're doing it, because we need a bit more of a more juicy reason than somebody told you or you read it in a book, all right? So that's kind of step one. Step two is just, first of all, decide what you're wanting to shift or focus on and just pick the category. So the reason I say that is you can do affirmations for your life overall, but especially if you're starting out, I find that you get better results if you just pick a focus, right? So choose the area. You don't have to restrict yourself, but just while you're kind of working out how to work these affirmations in this way, pick an area. So it could be health, could be energy, it could be your business, it could be your love life, it could be your health, whatever, right? So just have that in mind, because it helps just for you to focus in on where you're at on this subject, which I'll get to in a second. All right, so choose a focus. Number three, first thing to do is instinctively, without overthinking, just check where you're at on this area, on this subject, and just notice what you feel about it. And really it's just about noticing whether you've got a lot of resistance to this. Is it quite a far out thing for you, or does it feel quite achievable? Because once you measure where you are, this is the bit that really helps when you form your affirmations and actually create them. This is going to make the difference. So let me give you an example. So let's say your focus is on, let's say, love and money. Love and money are the two of the things that create so much internal turmoil for a lot of people, right? So choose whatever area works for you. But let's say love and money. So let's say in love, your goal is you're single, you really want to be in a loving relationship, you want your soulmate. So once you check in with where you're at, you might feel like, yeah, I really believe, hi Sarika. Oh yeah, you can catch the replay later, no problem. Nice to have you here. Lots of love to you as well. Yeah, I hope you're well. I hope you're doing well. So just say love and just say that you're wanting relationships. So just see what you feel like on that. Does it feel like it's really like far out there? It's no way in hell could it be for you. It's very unlikely. You've got a load of work to do before you can do that. It's really out there. Or does it feel like, oh yeah, I could do that. It's possible. Maybe there is someone out for me. So just see where you're naturally at, right? Because then you're going to see how much resistance you have. So let's take money. So in my area in coaching, lots of people have these financial goals. So let's say you've got this goal, a really popular goal is the 10K month, right? It's a really, really popular goal. Setting aside, and you've got to check in, by the way, whether these goals are really aligned for you. By the way, that helps. Or if you're just following someone else's dreams, just make sure it's really what you want. Anyway, so say your thing is a 10K goal and you have only made, I don't know, like £100, right? So so this is a personal thing. For you, it might feel like that goal is so far out there, it's just massive, right? And it's like you've got so many hoops to jump before you get there. Some of you might think that, yeah, I'm making £100, but I can totally feel myself making 10K a month, right? So just notice where you're at. There's no right or wrong, but I want you just to be really honest and just see what your resistance is, because it's going to help you then move to the next step, right? So we're just observing. So number 4, create some reminder statements that feel true, right? That's the main thing. So what we want to do is now we're going to create our affirmations. So we want to start with, let's keep it basic for today. You can do it in all different ways, but let's just start with I am. So let's just say, let's take the relationship one. Example is, I want to be in a relationship. I want to meet my soulmate. So let's try it on for size. So if you were to write down an affirmation, something really positive and strong, and you write something down like, I am, it's always in a present tense, I am in a loving relationship with my soulmate person and we are in bliss. Right? You write that down. Now, for some of you that will excite you and it will feel great. Perfect. For some of you, when you write that down, you'll experience what I experienced a few years back, where I thought, full of shit, that does not feel true. That's actually just annoyed me now because I don't feel like it's true, right? Doesn't apply to me now because I'm very happily married, but this was me way, way back. So this is the trick. Now, most people will teach, to write an affirmation down, and even if it's not true, just keep repeating it until it becomes true. Now, you can do that. You absolutely can. And if you can do that, great. But what you'll find is if you're doing it that way, you're going to annoy yourself somewhere along the line, and you're likely just to give up and just give up on the whole thing, because it's too hard. You've got too much resistance against what you're doing, right? So we want to choose the path of least resistance. That's the thing that really, really, really helps this. So what I want you to do then is just adjust and just think of it rather than an affirmation as just a reminder statement. What could you say that's more true, that maybe even feels neutral to start with? And if in doubt, go general. So let's say that affirmation on love feels too wide. It's like, oh, it's not possible. And let's take the money one. You write down, I receive 10K in my bank account every month, and it feels like you don't feel excited by it, and it doesn't really feel true. It just feels you feel a bit detached from it. We want to change it so we're making a statement around it that feels true. So let's not overcomplicate this. Let's just go really, really general. So how I'd start with, like, let's say the money one, you want to feel abundant, you want to feel like you can make the money, right, that you can change your situation. So if that feels like very resistant at the moment, you could just start very wide and say, I am living in a world where other people make money, right? So you're not doing specifics to you, you're just going general. I'm living in a world where other people make money. I am living with abundance around me in other areas. I am able to see other people's abundance, or whatever it is. It's like I am able to look around and search for examples, whatever it is. So in the relationship one, you could do the same. Instead of, if it's really triggering and doesn't feel true to say I am in an amazing relationship, you can say I am changing my state more and more. I am choosing to maybe allow love in. I am choosing to remind myself that it's possible. I am, so you're kind of making it really general. Does that make sense? Let me know if you're watching the replay and that makes sense. So all it is you can play around with this, but this is the bit where it's really nice to sit down and just give yourself a bit of space with it. And really it's just coming up with some statements, even just a few. It doesn't have to be 25. It could just be 3 or 4 or 5. Coming up with some statements that they feel on the topic that you're on. They're affirming, they're I am statements. They're in the present. They feel okay. They feel quite nice. Even if they're quite neutral and they're okay at the beginning, you can get more kind of stronger feelings with them as you go, but just check that they feel true and just see them as reminder statements. They're just statements that you're reminding yourself of the truth. So I'll give you an example. When I was really ill and I was having to transform my entire health, my body didn't work, I was like housebound, I was on the sofa, couldn't move, I started doing affirmations then. And when I started saying things like, I am healthy, I am energetic, I am doing cartwheels everywhere, it was so far away from where I was. Those affirmations couldn't have possibly stuck. There was too much resistance. I didn't feel they were true. They annoyed the crap out of me. So then in that situation I went general, right, like I just said. So I kind of started saying things like, I'm alive, that's true. I'm breathing, that was true. I'm learning every day, that was true. I am okay in this moment. Sometimes that was true, sometimes that wasn't true. I am practicing. And then as I started to do them, I was able to say things like, I'm open to the possibility that my health will change. I am aware that other people have recovered. I am more in tune than I believe. I have energy through my body, I am in a body that's capable of recovering. So I started to kind of move out of the general and getting a little bit more specific to my particular scenario. So then by the end, they start to feel true and they start to feel true. Does that make sense? So it's a really, really powerful way of doing it. And most people miss that point, that part, that step, because we're going into the I'm amazing, I'm abundant, I'm energized, and it's such a big leap. It feels resistant and it feels fake. And then we just give up. So think about your reminder statements. Go general if you feel that you need to, because actually that's going to set you up on this nice little track. And then number 5, write them down. So you want to kind of create a little list. It could even be, even if you can come up with 3 and you struggle, just come up with 3 and start with 3. So write a list and then every single day repeat them daily. So either you just read them through every single day, you could write them out every single day. You could even record yourself saying them if you feel like doing that. That would work. Whatever works for you, or you can listen to recordings. There's loads on YouTube if you find a topic that you resonate with, and maybe you can find some that work for you. Again, it's very personal, so just see if they click with you, if they resonate with you. And then number 6, then over time as you practice, keep practicing, you can change them, add to them, expand on them, and you can get bigger and more specific. Just as I said just now with my health example, after you've been doing them for a while, if you really stick with them, you'll be able to then start getting a bit more specific and getting a bit more punchy and more powerful. So with my health, what I was able to do after a while was, after doing like the general, I was saying things like, I used I am and I have. They're equally good. Like, I have working kidneys, I have a really strong heart, I have limbs that work, I have, a body that knows how to breathe. And I was doing all these things, and every day I was doing it. And then I started feeling like, I am able to change, I am able to create more health. And in the end, I was saying things like, I am energetic, I am totally healthy, I am recovered. So when I said I am recovered, I was able to say it before I was physically recovered, but because I'd done all of that lead up, it felt true. So it was almost like my subconscious could take it because I programmed myself enough. Does that make sense? So you just want to practice and practice and then expand as you go. And then number 7, final step, is just keep repeating. So ride that wave, create the momentum, do it, stick with it. Even if you do it for 2 minutes, it's better to do it for 2 minutes every single day than do an hour one day and then you don't do it for the rest of the week or the rest of the month. So even if you do like 2 minutes, and just make yourself do them every single day. It's like a muscle. It might hurt at first, it might feel like a pain, and then your muscle gets stronger, and then you're able to affirm, you're able to keep coming back to this, and then every time you do it, your mindset gets stronger, your thoughts, your beliefs get stronger, you get more powerful, and it's such an amazing momentum that you have. It's going to be amazing, and that is how your life changes. And when I say that, I don't say that lightly. I mean, if you do this, if you really took what I showed you today and you really applied this, and most people don't, but if you really sat down and wrote these 7 steps out and you really applied it and practiced, you will find that your life trajectory will change, because it has to. And what most people don't realize is the power of how we think and how we feel, because remember, it's the energy behind our words as well, which is why I showed you this way. Our energy and everything we do, it actually impacts the frequency we're on, and it really changes what we attract to us. It changes our physical actions. It changes every little thing in our lives. And most of the big transformations, I'd say all of the big transformations, happen as an internal job first. I'm talking about the ones that really stick. So I guarantee you, and I don't often say that, if you do apply this and you are consistent with it, you will absolutely start to feel different, because you're programming yourself. We're being programmed all day, every day. We're being bombarded with messages, marketing. I won't get into it in this particular video, but all the global stuff right now, there's a mass hypnosis. We're inside of it. Most people are inside of it unless you've broken free from it. So this inner game is the most important thing. And right now, when you've got all these messages coming at you about the state of the world and what's possible, this is where you've got to step up and break free from that and start utilizing the power that you've got in your mind and in your energy system, because it's incredibly strong. And isn't it funny how they don't teach us this at school? For a reason, right? If we all knew our power, this whole world would change. And this is what's happening. So try this out, try these 7 steps. And the last thing I want to do is just share a bonus tip with you, because even though I shared this, there are going to be days where this really works and it feels like, yes, you're on the track, you're on momentum, you're having these affirmations, they feel really powerful. And then there are other days where, for whatever reason, you don't feel it. You're going to sit down and you're going to go, it's not working today. It just doesn't feel like it clicks. And that happens to me, even though I've been doing these for like probably consistently since probably about a year and a half, I think, maybe longer. And there are still some days, like it happened the other day, I went in to listen, say like I listened to a certain affirmation recording that I was into that week, and I put it into my ears, and I was just like really grumpy, and I just got a bit annoyed, and I was listening to these affirmations and they annoyed the crap out of me. So when you feel that, that's just a sign, like I said earlier, that there's too much of a gap between that affirmation being true and where you are energetically. So what you want to do is, rather than force yourself, this is a really important bonus tip, rather than force yourself to do it, absolutely step away. And what you want to do is completely let that go and do something else. So in my example, what I did was it was quite funny, because I felt myself getting really pissy with this lovely woman's voice, who usually, I love her voice, it's soothing, it's calming. And I was getting really it was just annoying me. It was like a coat that I wanted to just rip off. It didn't fit. So I just thought I'll abandon that. So I went away. I had a shower. That always gets me shifted. And then from there, I felt good. So I played a little bit of music while I was getting ready. My vibe just kind of went up a little bit. I felt a little bit better. I still had some issues. I think it was like world issues that were just floating around. So I played a little bit of music. I felt a little bit better. I watched a video of something non-world related, and it just made me feel a little bit happier about something, a bit lighter. Then when I went to the affirmations, it was almost like I could stomach them. I felt like they can sit with me, and they actually helped shift they helped to shift me out of that, and I then was on a really great track. So you can sort of creep up on it. So if you're feeling resistant, or you're feeling like they feel really fake, two things: you can either just step away like I just explained and do something else and creep up on them, or sit down and revisit what they are and maybe make them a bit more general, so you kind of stay in the very general topic, because you'll find you'll have a lot less resistance, and then you'll kind of digest them easier. All right, so try those 7 steps, let me know what you feel. Any questions, pop them below. And yeah, this is a real practice thing, and I guarantee it's really worth the effort, because like I said, I used to find affirmations really annoying and shitty, but that was actually a piece of evidence of where my energy was, and it's actually, if you're feeling like that, it means you probably need them even more, because you're not plugged into that lovely sort of energetic frequency. So it's a sign that you could probably really benefit from them. It's like that saying, if you're, if you want to meditate but you're too busy, well, if you're too busy, you ideally you want to meditate twice as long, right? Because you actually really need it. So yeah, if you find that you're really resistant to affirmations, it's probably because probably like me, it's the piece that you really would benefit from, but you just hadn't figured out a way to make them work for you and actually feel very real, right? Because that's the important thing. So yeah, that's it. I just wanted to share that because I think it's really important, and most people miss those steps. So just to kind of just confirm those steps again. Step 1, understand what they are, why you're doing them. Step 2, decide which area you're focusing on, what you want to shift, what you want to focus on, your overall category. Step 3, check in with where you're feeling on that particular topic. Notice if there's resistance or if you're kind of on board with that. Step 4, create some reminder statements that feel true, and if not, go general. Get less specific, go more general. Step 5, write them down, repeat every day, or listen to them. Step 6, over time you can add to them, expand, get more specific if it feels right, or you can just stay general, that's fine. Number 7, keep repeating, keep riding that wave, create that momentum, really practice and adjust when you feel like you want to, and step it up. And if you do that, your trajectory, your energetic trajectory, everything about where you're heading will change, because despite what you've been taught, you are an energetic being first and foremost. So if you don't have your energy on board, it's like you're walking around in the dark trying to see, and there's a whole piece missing. So practice, let me know how you're doing. And like I said, if you want to connect more, because I do a lot more kind of interaction, check out my private group, the Awake Revolution Soul Team. Just click to join and you can come in there and we can have more conversations, and I pull some oracle cards and things in there, and I do a few more things in there that I don't do on this page, because this page doesn't really get seen very much. It's not got a very good algorithm or something going on, so the group is a lot better for the interaction. So that's it for now. I hope you're well, and I will speak to you again really soon. Bye for now.